Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 7th UNWTO World Forum on Gastronomy Tourism. The event will be starting very shortly, so please take your seat and wait for the opening to start. Thank you. 皆様、まもなく開会となります。ご着席の上、開会まで今しばらくお待ちくださいませ。 Ohayo gozaimasu, and good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world watching this online. I say yokoso. Welcome to the 7th UNWTO World Forum on Gastronomy and Tourism. And how about a big hand right here? Welcome. And in this beautiful city of Nara and Japan, we're going to organize this exciting two-day event. And we're going to, I'll be your host. My name is Miho, and I'm extremely honored and thrilled to walk you through this exciting two-day event happening in my country this year. And we are coming to you live from this beautiful, newly built Nara Prefecture Convention Hall. And we have more than 500 participants from 30 countries. And of course, because we have so many online viewers watching this on YouTube and our official online platform, we have so many more people joining us, and you are part of this. So why don't we give ourselves another credit by making a big round of applause to ourselves for making it today? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution and time and effort you've put this to make this happen today. And so, for the next 2 days, the historic city of Nara and Nara Prefecture will be delighted to provide our forum's participants with impactful sessions and memorable fieldwork and inspiring experiences with our experts from the industry coming from around the world. And in just a moment, we're starting this official opening ceremony. And for our participants and in this room, please remember, you have simultaneous interpretation receiver, and there's a Japanese on channel 1, and channel 2 is for Spanish, and channel 3 is for English. And for sanitary reasons, please kindly I would like to ask you to keep your simultaneous receiver at all times today during the sessions. And we also encourage you to join the conversation, spread the word, and tell your friends that you're in Nara, Japan, and help us promote gastronomy tourism by using our official hashtags on social media. Hashtag WFGT 2022 and hashtag gastronomy tourism. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. And now, to officially open the 7th UNWTO World Forum on Gastronomy Tourism, it is my pleasure to invite to the stage Mr. Shogo Arai, Governor of Nara Prefecture. Mr. Hiro Ishii, State Minister of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism of Japan. 石副大臣、よろしくお願いします。And Mr. Jose Mari Aizega, General Manager of Basque Culinary Center. And Mr. Zurav Polili Kashvili, Secretary General of World Tourism Organization. Welcome, sir. And now, distinguished guests, please give your warmest welcome to the host of this year's forum, Governor Shogo Arai. さあ、それでは、はい、知事よろしくお願いいたします。
Thank you. I am the governor of Nara Prefecture, Shoga Arai. I'm honored to speak in the opening ceremony. Her Royal Highness Princess Nobuko, His Excellency Mr. Zra Polorikashvili, Secretary General of the UNWTO, Mr. Jose Maria Aizega, General Manager of Bus Culinary Center, Mr. Hiro Ishii, State Minister of Land Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism, Ambassadors, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a bit excited in greeting you all in Nara because the pandemic forced us to postpone the forum event for some years, but finally we could meet together face to face here today. I believe what we are going to discuss today and tomorrow here is very important for sustainable development of global and regional societies. I'm very much looking forward to getting inspired through exchanges of new ideas and insight. I also hope your discussion here in Nara will be very fruitful, and at the same time, you enjoy your stay in Nara with good food and valuable cultural heritages. During your stay in Nara, you will also find Nara is very close to Osaka, where in 2025, next World Exhibition will be held. May I add one thing? You know, the Seoul Regional Office of the UNWTO is stationed in Nara. That is very fortunate for us. I promise now, as the governor of Nara, I continue to support the activity of UNWTO Regional Office. Lastly, I wish every success of the forum and a good future of you and your countries. I pray the great Buddha of Nara will bless you all. Buddha bless you instead of God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor Arai. Now, we were supposed to have a few words from Her Imperial Highness Princess Tomohito of Mikasa. However, unfortunately, Her Imperial Highness Princess Nobuko is unable to join us here today as she is convalescing from a breast cancer surgery she underwent in November. So here we have Ms. Chieko Hirata, Director General of Tourism Bureau of Nara Prefectural Government, who will read her message, who will read the message from Princess Nobuko on her behalf, which you can follow on the screen. So please welcome Ms. Hirata.
はじめに新型コロナウイルス感染症や自然災害により亡くなられた方々に心からの哀悼の意を表します。また、今なお厳しい現場で医療や災害復旧の任務に精励されている方々に厚く感謝の意を表したいと思います。Es para mí motivo de gran alegría que el séptimo Foro Mundial de la OMT sobre Turismo Gastronómico se celebre en la prefectura de Nara, lugar privilegiado con una variada cultura gastronómica, que se ha desarrollado a lo largo de la historia, sacando el mayor provecho de las características de ese entorno natural, y que a su vez cuenta con la presencia de numerosos participantes procedentes tanto de Japón como del extranjero. 国連世界観光機関の本部がマドリードにありますことから、冒頭にスペイン語で挨拶をさせていただきました。さて、改めまして、この度、第7回国連世界観光機関ガストロノミーツーリズム世界フォーラムが、長い歴史と豊かな自然に育まれた多彩な食文化を持つ奈良県において開催されますことを誠に嬉しく思います。そして私自身、料理をたしなむことから、この度のご縁を大変ありがたく存じております。食は我が国の地域に由来する歴史的、文化的な背景によって、時間をかけて個性豊かに彩られたものが多く、それぞれの地域においては、自分たちの郷土の誇りや伝統を芸術的に体現する非常に重要な精神的価値となっています。日本の食文化である和食は、我が国が世界に誇るミネラル豊富な土壌と四季折々の豊かな自然景観と見事に調和し、寄り添いながら今日の美しい姿を体現するに至りました。日本有数の国宝建造物に代表される悠久の歴史を持つここ奈良県は、また古くから農業を営んできた肥沃な土地を持つという魅力も持ち合わせております。皆様には奈良県の洗練された食を味わい、その歴史文化に国や時間を超えて思いを馳せていただくという、またとない素晴らしい瞬間を共有していただくことを願っております。食は人々に笑顔をくれ楽しむことを通じて、その地域の歴史や文化を感じ取ることを目的とするガストロノミーが、今回の世界フォーラムによって多くの人々の関心を集め、国際観光需要の回復が力強く牽引されていくことを願っています。最後になりますが、感謝の言葉を再びスペイン語でお伝えすることをもって私の挨拶といたします。Para finalizar, hago votos porque este foro mundial constituya una ocasión ideal para dar a conocer ampliamente, tanto en el interior como en el exterior del país, los atractivos turísticos y culinarios de Nara y de todo Japón, y que el tiempo que comparten juntos sirva para profundizar la comprensión mutua entre todos ustedes, por medio de la gastronomía y el turismo.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hirata. And for this opportunity, we would like to send Her Imperial Highness Princess Nobuko our best wishes for her first recovery. Thank you. Now, I would like to invite next the State Minister of Land, Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism of Japan. Please welcome Mr. Hiro Ishii. それではよろしくお願いいたします。
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for a kind introduction. I am Hiro Ishii, State Minister of Land Infrastructure, Transport and Tourism. Let me say a few words at the opening of the 7th UNWTO World Forum on Gastronomy Tourism. Continuing from last night, Mr. Zurabu, Political Secretary General, WTO, and Mr. Jose Maria Aizega, General Manager, Basque Culinary Center, and Governor Arai. Thank you very much for participating in today's event. Back in April 2019, we announced our candidacy to host this forum. After the formidable competition, we were chosen to be the venue, and then we are now able to host this 7th forum in Nara Prefecture. To all of those who participated and prepared, thank you very much. I would like to express my gratitude. In 2013, Japanese washoku traditional diet and culinary was registered for the intangible cultural asset of UNESCO. Since then, the gastronomy tourism have developed combined tourism and food in many places in Japan. In particular, Nara is the birthplace of the food culture of Japan. Nara Prefecture works with UNWTO Japan office and hosts the international symposia to promote gastronomy tourism and also jointly developing the tourism the resources. So having this wonderful forum here in Nara is very meaningful for us, and we are able to learn a lot of insights. According to the Tourism Agency of Japan, the international tourists want to enjoy Japanese food. This is the top of the priority when they visit Japan. Another major excitement is to enjoy and taste Japanese sake. It reveals that Japanese culture of food is a very important tourism resources to attract foreigners. There is a high expectation at the gastronomy tourism. So our ministry hopes that this forum will be a very exciting event to promote the gastronomy tourism as an important pillar for the tourist policy. Wishing for all the participants prosperity and health, I would like to conclude my remarks. On December 13th, 2022, State Minister Hiro Ishii.
副大臣ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, State Minister.
State Minister, for your very encouraging words. And at the heart of gastronomy is agriculture, of course. And the UN Agency for Food and Agriculture is committed to work closely with UNWTO. He couldn't join us physically for this event, but the director of the FAO wanted to leave a welcome message to our participants. Here's Mr. Kyu Dong-gyu.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, I'm pleased to be participating in the opening of this key event organized by the World Tourism Organization together with partners. This forum on the gastronomy tourism highlights its key role for the promoting sustainable social development and the responsible use of food as a valuable resource, promoting the cultural exchange, empower the women, create opportunity for the youth, and nurture future talent. FAO is committed to supporting the transformation of a global agricultural system to be more efficient, more inclusive, more resilient, and more sustainable. To achieve the four betters: better production, better nutrition, a better environment, a better life for all, leaving no one behind. In support of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs, FAO recognizes the importance of agritourism, ecotourism, and other forms of landscape based on tourism as important drivers of socio-economic growth. They increase and diversify the household incomes, enhance job opportunities, increase the resilience of livelihood, and have the conserve the natural and the cultural heritages and the biodiversity. The overuse of the scarce resources, food waste, and poor working conditions are some examples of areas where the tourism industry and the tourist food consumption must improve. Hotel service in different countries estimate that 20 to 60% of all food purchased is thrown away. These figures are alarming and highlight the urgent need for better food management in the tourist sector. The impact of food production and consumption on the environment highlights the implications that the food waste has on the economic, social, and environmental aspects. The recovery and the redistribution of the surplus food from the tourism sector would add to its potential contribution to the sustainability. and help alleviate food insecurity among the vulnerable populations in tourist destinations. A recent MOU between the World Tourism Organization, FAO, emphasized that the cross-cutting nature of the tourism and the importance of collaboration at all levels across the sectors. It envisages partnerships among FAO globally important cultural heritage system, GIAS, the creation of the fragile ecosystem, and the FAO Green City Initiative, among others. These types of the collaborations aim to nurture the innovation and the entrepreneurship, driving the sustainable development, income diversification opportunities, and strengthening the livelihoods. FAO recognizes the importance of territorial approaches, in particular through the tools such as GIAS and the geographic indicators for positive transformation to maximize the economic, social, and environmental benefits. GIAS and the GIs both offer the critical approaches for gastronomy tourism. GIs represent a powerful strategy for local producers to jointly promote and preserve their typical food products, which are at the basis of the local gastronomy. GI process enhance public-private coordination to preserve natural food heritage and the associated natural and cultural resources. And they provide the guarantees to consumers and tourists of food quality and origin. FAO has been supporting the countries with geographic indicators through the consolidating and sharing knowledge and evidence, provide training and technical assistance in more than 30 countries globally. GIAS are the agro-ecosystem in which the communities are interlinked with their territory. This involving sites are resilient system with agrobiodiversity, traditional knowledge, invaluable culture, and the landscapes. And they are sustainably managed by the farmers, herders, fish farms, and the forest people in ways that contribute to their livelihood and food security. Currently, FAO has designated over 60 GIAS sites around the world. FAO also supported the World Food Forum, youth-led movement and network in support of the transformation of our agri-food systems. FAO, together with the World Food Forum and the social gastronomy movement, are working collectively to leverage the power of food to create a local change. Working together with the change makes including the chefs, farmers, business, and nonprofit leaders. Local and traditional agri-food systems present the heritage of a country and are the foundations for balanced and healthy diets. FAO celebrates this diversity and originality, and this forum provides an important platform to reaffirm our common commitment to its preservation. I wish you a successful forum and look forward to the recommendations arising from your discussions. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a very heartfelt message from Mr. Dong-Kyu Dong-Kyu, the director of the FAO. Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite the general manager of the co-organizer of this forum, the Basque Culinary Center. Now, everyone, please welcome and give a warm round of applause to Mr. Jose Mari Aizega.
Ohio, good morning. Secretary General, Governor, State Minister, participants, those that you are here, also those who are connected online, welcome to this World Forum on Gastronomy and Tourism. It is a real pleasure to be here in Nara and to organize this 7th World Forum in collaboration with World Tourism Organization. It is already the 7th World Forum we organize, and I would like to thank Secretary General for this fruitful collaboration all these years. 7 years ago, we thought that gastronomy tourism was already a strong phenomenon, and that required a forum to share best practices in the sector among countries in the world. Since then, we have seen how gastronomy tourism has increased the power of attraction, the power to influence the decision of tourists, and how has influenced the strategies and governments and administrations. Of course, these 2 years have been very complicated period for tourism and also for gastronomy, but now, facing a strong recovery, I think we are also facing many opportunities and many challenges. Some reflections about gastronomy. I think one of the biggest transformations in gastronomy in the last years is the change of the meaning of what we understand with this word. Some years when we talked about gastronomy tourism and about gastronomy mainly, we were thinking about fine dining and restaurants. Nowadays, we understand that gastronomy is more diverse and wider than ever. It's a wide sector, a polyedric sector. I would say it's a value chain, including production, hospitality, tourism, restaurants. Also, gastronomy integrates cultural, social, and economic dimensions. So it's a complex sector. And I think during all these World Forums and also this year, we are addressing this complexity and reflecting about its potential. We cannot understand contemporary gastronomy without integrating sustainable development. Also, this increases even more this holistic perspective of gastronomy. I would say that almost all the SDGs are connected with food and gastronomy. At Basque Culinary Center, a center located in San Sebastian, we believe in this 360-degree vision of gastronomy. We are an ecosystem that works on, I would say, talent, research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We have students in this moment for 40 countries in the world, and we believe that there are many professions in gastronomy. We are not talking only about chefs or about restaurants, but there are many professions. Of course, chefs, sommeliers, pastry chefs, managers, researchers, journalists, tourism managers, teachers, bartenders. There are many professions, and our task in all these years has been to develop education proposals for all these professions, because gastronomy professionals need also to have a professional development and continuous education. Also, we believe in research and innovation. The world is changing. The customers' preferences are changing. Digital transformation. There are so many sustainable requirements. There are so many transformations, and we have to think in terms of innovation and entrepreneurship. All this will be present in this World Forum. We will have many reflections, many experts, many protagonists, from public strategy to managers to chefs, from producers to tourism managers. We will also have the moment for entrepreneurs with the third global startup competition. So it is, I believe, a very great representation of the diversity of approaches and perspectives present in gastronomy tourism. I hope you will enjoy the forum. Thank you very much, Governor, for hosting us. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you, Mr. Isega. And finally, let's greet the Secretary General of the World Tourism Organization, Please welcome Mr. Zurav Pololi-Kashvili.
Minasan, ohayo gozaimasu. All I want to wish Her Imperial Highness Princess Nobuko san to have a good health and to recover as quick as it will be possible. Arai-san and Ishii-san, suteki na omotenashi wo.
Thank you very much for wonderful hospitality. This is the second time for me to come to Nara, and coming here makes me really happy.
Second time in Nara Prefecture. And I want to greet all our friends and all our participants for a very important forum, especially Commissioner Wada-san. Thank you to be with us. I want to greet the President of JTB, Yamakita-san. Yamakita-san, thank you to attend our event. Liz Ortega, again, thank you to be with us. It's very important, your presence. Asia and Pacific, it's very important region for tourism, and thank you to be with us. Oshino-san, arigatou gozaimasu. And Hompo-san, I forgot you yesterday during my speech. You are big brother of UNWTO since many, many years. And thank you all ambassadors. I don't want to miss anyone. Ambassador of Azerbaijan, Croatia, Jordan, Fiji, and head of tourism of Azerbaijan. And we have Arai-san, head of very nice province, which is Yucatan. I just recently met by coincidence Michelle. Thank you to attend this gastronomy forum. And all of you, dear participants, it's very important to be united. We mentioned many times. Arai-san, you didn't make us to feel like home because Nara is our home. We have first office, regional office in Nara since many, many years. And we really feel home, and there is no better place to organize gastronomy forum than this fantastic place. I want to greet all participants who are connecting online and regret and tell them that they miss a lot because online you can't try and eat the wonderful gastronomy and to experience wonderful gastronomy of Nara and to try sake we tried yesterday. So it's a pleasure, and recently we heard that Prime Minister, His Excellency Fumio Kishida, pledged to recover international tourism and reach the target spending by foreign visitors to Japan to over 5 trillion yen per year. UNWTO is here to support you and Japan to reach this target. And gastronomy is a great way to get there. Dear Jose Maria Izega, dear friend, a very good friend of tourism and UNWTO in Japan, thank you for your commitment and for your support to make it happen, because we remember that we wanted to organize this, traditionally this event, second time in San Sebastian, but on very, very kind request of Arai-san and my request, you approved and we are here. I always mention that Basque Culinary Center, and you very well mentioned during your speech that it's not a place where people can learn how to make pizza or sushi or some dishes from all over the world. This is one of the most creative institutions in gastronomy worldwide. This is the most important and most strong brain, I would say, in gastronomy and in creativity, in innovation, in technologies, and this is where this magic is happening, and very happy and very proud to have such strong partner and to be here in Japan, the one of the most innovative and creative country in the world. Thank you again for your strong support, and it's always a pleasure to work with you and to be inspired by the work of Basque Culinary Center. It's wonderful to be here and see international tourists returning after Japan opened just 2 months ago. I remember it was September, end of September, and we are here. It's also a symbolic start and recovery. congratulations, Arai-san, for this wonderful Congress Hall. I don't know if any other prefectures has such nice and modern Congress Hall in Japan, and we are very proud and happy that this is one of the first international event, and wish you and this place good luck and many, many international events next years. And we will be back. We will use this opportunity to come back and to do more and more. And this was, by the way, discussed with the Japanese government to activate more our office and to do more events and to attract more international visitors and experts to discuss different themes around the tourism. The pandemic has taught us the value of innovation, sustainability and resilience, and it also taught us the importance of working together to adapt to the future. Nothing brings people together like sharing a meal around the table. This is also the essence of tourism. Together, tourism and gastronomy can travel very far. Gastronomy tourism supports social and economic development. It drives job creation, regional cohesion, and sustainable development. It creates opportunities for local communities and brings visitors to new destinations. And it also celebrates and protects culture and traditions. Nara is a perfect example of all of this. A city hosting 22 Michelin stars restaurants and countless local unique experiences. Indeed, all across Japan, gastronomy tourism is one of the rise. Dear friends, as our sector restarts, it's time to rethink our impact and our role in economies and in society. That's why we are here today, to explore the potential of gastronomy tourism for development that is both sustainable and inclusive. With our partners, we are delivering in 3 ways. The first, for people, be empowering women and fostering talent. The second is for planet, reducing waste and moving towards a circular food economy in tourism. This forum will see the launch of the first global roadmap for food waste reduction in tourism. We mentioned many times that we are not following the trends. You know, from UNWTO, we are creating new directions, new guidelines, how to conduct the tourism. And this will happen first time, by the way, that we will talk about waste reduction. And this is a very problematic issue directly linked to tourism. And I'm sure that with our team and numbers of very interesting and important experts, we will have very concrete outcomes. And this will be something new for all our member states. And then step by step, we can educate people, the young generation, because this is not less problematic and challenging issue that COVID or climate change is. And I'm very happy and very proud that it will happen here during this gastronomy forum, and it will be really historical step for our organization and for our member states. And the third is innovation. Jose Mari, he mentioned that we already organized more than 3 or 4 innovation startup competitions. No, this was first time we started 4 years ago. And the idea was to embracing the new ideas and new technologies as well as new flavors. We gave a lot of opportunities to all ideas, especially in innovation in gastronomy. And I would like to thank you again, dear Jose Mari, and your team to have worked with us since 2015. I'm proud to say that together we have placed gastronomy tourism high on the agenda of countries and destinations worldwide. Arai-san, you don't know how many countries are asking us to organize gastronomy forum. For next 10 years, we have queue, I think. Jose Mari, he knows it. So this is the case of Nara. By the way, 3 years we were waiting for this excellent forum. But this would not have been possible without the vision and leadership of Governor Arai-san. Again, and thank you very much, dear Governor. On this very special occasion, allow me to recognize and thank the Governor for his strong support, and also for his role in advancing the contribution of tourism and gastronomy for a more sustainable future for people and planet. You are really great example for all of us, Arai-san, and very proud to know you and to be here in your hometown, Nara. So at the end of my speech, and I will finish now, I want to wish very nice stay in Nara, and minasan Nara wo tanoshi.
please enjoy your stay in Nara.
Feel the beauty of gastronomy, the culture, history of this wonderful place. どうもありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Secretary General. And sir, I would like now you to remain standing and invite Mr. Arai to join you up closer to the end of the, yes, right there. And 副大臣もよろしくお願いいたします。Now I would like to
State Minister too.
on to the next segment, and the Secretary General will present a special recognition to Governor Shogo Arai. And we are going to move on to the photo session. So Secretary General, please present it to Mr. Arai. And please smile to the photographers. And the text of the plate reads as follows. The Secretary General of the World Tourism Organization has the honor to present a special recognition to Mr. Shogo Arai, Governor of Nara Prefecture, for his unwavering support to UNWTO and for advancing the contribution of tourism and gastronomy for a more sustainable future for people and planet. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Secretary General. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, State Minister. And thank you, Mr. Aizega. Now I would like to invite you to make your way down back to your seat. お写真大丈夫ですか? Hi. Oh, excuse me for a moment. Excuse me for a moment. Would you please Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. Some photographers need to take some time to make more photos, maybe with bigger smiles. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. After. はい、よろしいですか? あとは大丈夫でしょうか、皆さん?
All finished? Thank you very much.
Patient, please make your way back to your seats. はい、それではご講談お願いいたします。よろしくお願いいたします。Thank you. Now that we have officially opened this edition of the Gastronomy Tourism Forum here in Nara, let's continue to deep dive into this year's topics: innovation, empowerment, and preservation. And what a great location to host this year's forum. And located in the Kansai region in Japan, which as some of you may know, that is known commonly as Japan's kitchen. Nara has put a lot of effort in encouraging visitors to experience its local cuisine, plus the Japanese culture has always put a strong focus on the use of seasonal ingredients and preserving nature and cherishing millenary traditions. And right now, local authorities are investing in the promotion of gastronomy tourism in Japan, and these strategies have attracted visitors from all over the world who want to discover our fascinating culture and taste our local delicacies. And to get a deeper insight on gastronomy tourism,
日本におけるガストロノミーツーリズムをよりよく理解するために、国土交通省日本観光庁長官和田光一様にご登壇いただきお話を伺いたいと思います。和田様、お願いします。 Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Wada, Commissioner of Japan Tourism Agency, JTA. First and foremost, I extend my warmest welcome to international visitors to Japan and Nara. I welcome you from the bottom of my heart. And also for Japanese participants, thank you for joining us today. In October, Japan significantly relaxed border control measures, and we are ready to welcome international visitors. And indeed, a lot of international visitors are now arriving in Japan. Today, I'd like to share with you gastronomy tourism and sustainable tourism in Japan. First, Washoku Japanese cuisine and gastronomy tourism. International visitors, more than anything else, likes to eat Japanese food when they come to Japan. And also Washoku, the tradition of Japan, was inscribed as UNESCO's intangible cultural heritage in 2013, and next year marks the 10th anniversary. Gastronomy tourism promoted by UNWTO is designed not only to enjoy the food locally but also get in touch with the culinary culture in the local communities. Exactly that is what Japan is now doing for gastronomy tourism. Now about Washoku Japanese cuisine. One great feature of our food is to use soup stock called dashi, made with dried kelp and bonito flakes, and also fermentation cultures such as miso, soy sauce, and sake. Japanese cuisine also makes the most use of ingredients such as marine and farm products and meat before putting additional flavors. It is also highly valued for its healthy quality. Japanese meal and cuisine also has a lot to do with annual events in local communities such as New Year's Day and festivals, and has a close relationship with local cultures. Now about sustainable tourism. Gastronomy tourism is also part of sustainable tourism initiatives promoted by our agency. Our view of sustainable tourism has two aspects. One is environmentally friendly tourism, and also a destination development that enhances the local communities and also local economy sustainability. And those measures are being promoted in a comprehensive manner. Japan's land area is quite limited, but Japanese land has a rich diversity in topography and climate, and there are over 1,000 different local cuisines around this country. Efforts are now underway to use and combine those local contents such as natural environment, culture, and tradition, and also the local cuisine into the tourism contents, and try to have both preservation tourism for the reactivation of local communities. As Japan faces a decline of population, it's very important to promote tourism as a pillar of growth strategy and community revitalization, as it enhances non-resident population from Japan and abroad, and for tourism to thrive as a key industry where women and young people are empowered. And also it is very important to promote destinations as a place people love to live and love to visit with the public understanding. Two examples of gastronomy tourism in Japan. What you can see here is a fermentation tourism in Tawaramoto town in Nara Prefecture. The master of the soy sauce brewery remodeled the 130-year-old soy sauce brewery into a lodging facility, and visitors are able to enjoy the brewer's life and also soy sauce brewing as experience-based gastronomy tourism. Furthermore, organic waste from the soy sauce brewery and restaurants are converted into the organic fertilizers, which are then used to grow products and vegetables in the nearby farms, and the harvest can be enjoyed by tourists. Furthermore, the soy sauce leaves called are used to make salt, and that can be combined with soy sauce and miso. Furthermore, such a soy sauce brewery is part of the excursions you may enjoy after this forum. This one is tourism contents combining local fishing with local industry. Toba City in Mie Prefecture has promoting fishing and tourism, and the landlady of local inns served as a bridge between the tourism operators and fishermen and the fishing women. In Japan, a woman diver called Ama dives to catch abalone and sea urchin and wakame seaweeds, and visitors are able to enjoy such a diving experience and also enjoyed the freshly harvested seafood in women divers hatches. And such experience-based contents are very popular, and such examples are now promoted all around this country. I sincerely hope that people from other countries can enjoy such experience-based gastronomy tourism. Furthermore, as next year marks the 10th anniversary of the inscription of Japanese food as an intangible cultural asset, we are about to launch Open the Treasure of Japan campaign as an opportunity to enhance the new experience of the visitors in various occasions. I sincerely hope that many people will come to Japan and rediscover Japan. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Thank you, Commissioner. Many thanks to your insights. And actually, some of the aspects underlined here by Mr. Wada have been put in practice with initiatives that strive to protect and add value to the local gastronomic culture. A good example of such initiatives is the AWA project led by Mr. Masayuki Miura, who puts all his efforts into safeguarding the local traditional vegetables, and he grows native crops and uses them to cook in the savory menu of his restaurant, Kiyosumi no Sato, which was recently awarded a Green Star by the Michelin Guide. So please welcome Mr. Miura.
Thank you for a kind introduction. I'm Miura. I'm very honored to have been given this opportunity to participate in this wonderful World Forum held in my hometown, Nara. To all the guests from overseas, welcome to Japan and welcome to Nara, the place where Japan was born and where everything began. With my wife, I am a farmer, a chef, and an owner of a restaurant. And over 25 years, I have been researching, cultivating, and preserving native crops of Nara. Our 2 restaurants were selected as Michelin Green Stars and the Michelin Guide Nara Edition 2022. Today, as one of those involved in food and agriculture in Nara, under the theme of a vision for the future of gastronomy tourism, I'd like to introduce Nara's food culture that were inherited from our predecessors. And also, we would like to invite you to journey to the beginning from this place, where not only food culture, but also traditional crafts and traditional arts were born. And through this presentation, I hope to share with you the limitless synergistic possibilities of gastronomy tourism and Nara's historical and cultural resources. First, Japan's local food culture. That is an irreplaceable cultural heritage, and it has been inherited in Japan backed by slow food, local production for local consumption from farm to table, and SDGs. This forum is really a sprouting to create a sustainable and truly prosperous future. Stretching long from north to south, Japan has diverse climates. Nara has 39 cities, towns, and villages, each of which has its own unique food culture. Now, I would like to introduce some of the Nara's foodstuffs that will welcome you to Nara's gastronomy tourism starting tomorrow. I'm sure that chefs here will be entertaining you with these Nara's rich and unique ingredients. First is Yamato mana, a leafy vegetable with a unique flavor, and Yamato imo is a taro, sticky, consistent, and ajima imo, another taro of rich flavor, and the katahira akane is a colorful turnip. In the highland area, there is a very sweet spinach. The first red sweet corn bred in Japan, this is Yamato Rouge. In addition to these bountiful foodstuffs, Nara Prefecture has established a gene bank to distribute seeds of traditional crops to preserve the local food culture and is expected to help the development of local gastronomy. With its rich historical and cultural resources, Nara makes us realize tremendous potential of Japan, and the Nara is also an origin of a variety of traditional food. For example, manju, a Japanese sweet dumpling, was born in Nara. Sweet persimmons, this was first created in Nara, which is now a major production area. And in December, strawberry is indispensable to decorate cakes. Nara-born forcing varieties such as ancient capital flower and Asuka ruby are full of charms. Another representative of Japanese food culture, some noodle and Yoshino kudzu, and the tea and Chinese herbal medicine introduced from the continent, and kakinoha sushi, persimmon leaf sushi, and narazuke pickles are also popular fermented foods originated in Nara. Now, sake, already enjoyed around the world, also has its roots in Nara. The Omiwa shrine, dedicated to the god of sake, has been located in Nara, and 29 sake breweries in the prefecture produce unique sake products. In addition to the food, there are traditional crafts such as Nara ink, brushes, and Nara sarashi bleaching, and also sumo wrestling, the national sport of Japan, and the traditional performing art, no drama, and Yoshino forestry are also important historical and cultural values that originated in this area. So we hope that you will enjoy your journey of the beginning of everything while looking back on more than 1,300 years of Nara's history. When we look at the region from the viewpoint of gastronomy tourism, we can see the 7 treasures that are described with the Japanese word fu, that means winds. So during the tour, I hope you can also feel these 7 winds too. The first wind is Fudo, the climate which represents a local history. The second wind is Fumi, the flavor from the bountiful grains, vegetables, fruits that are locally grown. The third wind is Fukei, the landscape and the pursuit of flavors in the climate, including the terraced paddy field. And there is another secret in Japan. The fourth is Fushu. In addition to 4 distinct seasons like spring, summer, fall, and winter, in an old calendar, 1 year is divided into 72 seasons. Each season has its unique saying about how to be in good shape. We learned from history how are we going to be living in harmony with the nature. These subtle wisdom is integrated into our daily lives. And then the fifth wind is Fubutsu. They are handmade crafts from natural materials that support our daily lives. And all these customs represent our daily life culture. This is the 6th wind, that is Fugi. And the spirit of hospitality, the values that have been nurtured in these 6 fu or winds, we have the 7th wind, that is Fuze. I hope that everyone will experience these 7 winds or fu, as well as gastronomy, which are treasures unique to each region. Nara, as I said, has 39 cities, towns, and villages, which, each with its own unique face, a graceful history and culture, reminiscent of the ancient capital, and also a rich natural environment in the deep Oku-Yamato region. The creation of tourism on gastronomy and historical and cultural resources in cooperation with each region has great potential to inherit the local food culture and promote sustainable agriculture. And then this is surely going to inspire tourists. By doing this, these tourists will spend more time in Nara. Nara is a major tourism prefecture, and this brings energy to our new livelihoods. With the pandemic and war, and also the food shock due to climate change, the world is replete with problems. The concept of gastronomy tourism is the way and providing a vital tool for us to look at our lives and also to promote the collection of people's wisdom. People and planet. This is a theme for this forum. The essence of gastronomy tourism, which is to contribute to planetary health by improving the individual well-being. This must spread not only to those involved in the food and beverage industry and the tourism industry, but also to all of the people on the earth. With these thoughts in mind, and with all of you who are participating in this forum in Nara, a place of beginning, and the people of the world who are listening to the live stream, I would like to wish for the bountiful future generated from our various actions. Now I would like to conclude my keynote speech. Thank you for your kind attention.
ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much.
皆さん、ありがとうございました。 That was a very touching presentation, and many thanks for these insights and for sharing your passion, Mr. Miura. And wasn't it interesting to hear about the Japanese tourism agency's efforts regarding gastronomy tourism and sustainable tourism in Japan? And I would like to experience the fermented gastronomy tourism in a 130-year-old soy sauce brewery. It would be really, really nice. And I was also surprised by Ms. Miura-san's spirit of Yamato traditional vegetables. And I will also love to try it and use it in my cuisine as I cook my food for my family as well. Thank you so much, both of you. Moving on. Now I would like to invite on the stage Ms. Sandra Carvalho, Director of UNWTO Tourism, Market Intelligence and Competitiveness, who will have an insightful conversation with Ms. Katia Uliassi, co-owner of the restaurant Uliassi in Italy that has been rated number 12 on this year's list of the world's 50 best restaurants. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us on the stage.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Now I'd like to hand it over to Sandra.
Thank you. Ohayo gozaimasu. I hope that was somehow similar to good morning. Very good morning to all here in Nara. It's great to be back to this welcoming city after 3 years of planning this event. Also to more than 800 people following in our platform. Very happy to have you online. And as the Secretary General said, we're missing a great food. I'm very well accompanied here today with Katia, who's responsible for the amazing success of a restaurant in a small village in Italy.
Yes.
And before we go to the discussion, I want to tell you a little bit about Katia because I think it helps to understand and put you in thinking about her restaurant and imagining it. So Katia was born in Singaglia in Italy. She grew up in a well-known and popular bar in the suburbs, founded by her parents, so you can see from birth, which still exists and is now run by her brother Walter. From this experience, Katia learned love, diligence, and all aspects related to hospitality, really family spirit. Together with their brother Mauro, they first opened the restaurant Huilici in 1990, a family-run beachside cafe ideally located by the harbor of the picturesque town of Singaglia. Immediately acclaimed by the local community, the restaurant went through many stages until it got a very prestigious recognition in 2019, a third Michelin star. Katia is responsible for coordinating everything related to the dining room, hospitality, and the service of the restaurant. And very important, she's also an enthusiastic of design, and the restaurant's interior put in evidence her amazing taste. We discussed yesterday about the importance of the atmosphere related to gastronomy tourism, so I'm sure we'll learn from Katia. She's passionate about painting, and she actually has exhibited her works in several art galleries in Italy, in Hong Kong, and in New York. So art and food brought together, Katia. Katia, before we were inspired by the speech of Chef Miura. How do you see this link and the future of gastronomy and tourism, especially because your location of your restaurant is obviously in a fantastic beach area?
Thank you, Sandra. It's a pleasure for me to be here in this moment. I would like to say hello to everyone on behalf of the Uliassi team. I look forward to telling you about the behind the scenes of the special place in Senigallia. I enjoy listening to Chef Miura. Thanks a lot. But now, back to your question. I don't know what the future of gastronomy will look like. We are very focused on the here and now. I know for a fact that Italy has 2,500 years of history and culture, seen and felt in every corner of our country. This combined with great gastronomic tradition has made it become a kind of Disneyland of tourism. The work we have done so far with the restaurant has taken our city around the world. It has put Senigallia on the map. It has no more than 40,000 residents, and during the summer season, the population doubled in size. My city has a very high gastronomic appeal. Uliassi, our restaurant, have 3 Michelin stars. And there is another restaurant in Senigallia too with 2, the Madonnina del Pescatore. But there are also dozens and excellent restaurants with many choices of cuisine. What needs to be developed more in Senigallia, as in all of Italy, is the hotel accommodation. The future of tourism is closely linked to hospitality and services in general. At the moment, in many beautiful places, these needs are lacking and not meet the expectation that our country raises.
Perfect, Katia. I think that was very interesting coming from a restaurant owner, the perspective of the expectations of tourists and how sometimes the gastronomy creates a very high level experience, and then the destination, how it can follow that and how we can actually contribute with the rest of the tourism value chain, in this case, the accommodation. So I think that's a very interesting point. Also, one of the things we try to do at UNWTO is really gather all parts of the value chain, and that's why we believe a gastronomy tourism destination needs to be built with all the partners, because as you say, you have the restaurant, but other facilities still need to be developed. Katia, since you've scored 12 now in the list of world's 50 best restaurants, and you were the highest new entry award as well, what has changed after the award?
Nothing is changing in our style. The beauty of what do lies simply the possibility of continually surprising ourselves. It's a job that always pushes you to see what the behind the corner. That night in London was like a shower of amazement that we wished would never end, but we have always had the rule to preserve us from both success and failure, and that it to rejoice and cry for no more of 48 hours. Then we forget all about it and look at where that improvement feed on improvement.
Perfect, Katia. That's very interesting. I like the what has changed? Nothing. Very important, because it is the essence that really makes the difference at the end. You also lead, and one of the topics of this forum is women empowerment, and I know you have a strong women team, 11 strong, talented women working with you. How do you think we can empower women more to actually change their role and have a more active role in restaurants?
Thank you, Sandra, for this question, because it's very important for me. There is still a lot of be done. but I, especially in the dining room, have built a women's team that I'm very proud of. Women have long since begun to take on roles of responsibility, and I believe that this will only improve with time. It is important for women and for every trade. In the restaurant business, for example, intuition, elegance, tact, kindness, but most of all, dedication and female gaze are unsurpassed because women are special. They have the ability to see things from many points of view. I firmly believe that true equality between men and women will happen when we no longer have deal with this kind of talking point.
Perfect. Well, that's a very clear answer. Once we don't discuss it anymore, it will be there. But until then, we still have to make it happen, and we still need to talk about it so it can be on the agendas. Also, one of the challenges of the tourism sector in Europe, North America, and now here in Japan as it opens as well, is workforce. Many people left the sector during the pandemic, and now they have not returned. And I know that is not the case in your restaurant, because you told me that everyone that worked with you still is with you. But how do you think that we can attract more the young generations and retain them also in this sector?
Sandra, you know, sometimes I think young people just want to be famous. And there is a lot of talk in a school about passion and talent. But often the substantial differences are not grasped. Passion is what we would like to do, but this may not necessarily match our talent. So there may be a risk of becoming infatuated with a profession because it's in vogue or wasting a lot of time. Talent, on the other hand, is what naturally comes to us, precisely because it suits us, we became passionate. Moreover, talent without commitment is worthless. Here, what educators and parents must do is to push young people to discover what they are gifted in. The role of the school as an institution, on the other hand, is to give them the same opportunities and tools to be able to achieve their goals, regardless of their economic and social background.
Perfect, thank you. I think definitely the rush and the need for immediate success is a challenge in maybe today, but also at the same time the patience that needs in such a business. And I'm sure we're going to discuss it afterwards. We have a panel specifically on talent. We mentioned sustainability, and obviously it's a major challenge in our plate, to say the least. What are you doing in your restaurant to address the issues of sustainable tourism and gastronomy?
We talk a lot about sustainability and sustainable development. We do our best to make sure that the needs of the present generation do not compromise the future generation and life on Earth. We take great care to constantly improve ourselves in everything. We try to be sustainable across the board. We improve our internal teamwork, our relationship with our customers, our suppliers, and the quality of our work. We pay attention to products, where I come from, their packaging and waste. In short, in our small way, we try daily to be sustainable and not to create harm with our actions.
Thank you. Definitely packaging and food waste. We will hear more about it afterwards. But you mentioned something very interesting, which is the customer. How do you communicate with your guests on the importance of making sustainable choices? Because sometimes in the menu, how can you transmit that?
When a job is considered excellent by the community, it means you are seen as an example to follow. We, as I said before, are strongly focused on doing our best. Leading by example, we communicate the value of our action. This sends our positive message. We live in extraordinary time, where technologies continues to help us to have knowledge, and knowledge makes people more aware and imaginative. Being more aware also permits people to make sustainable choices.
So definitely communicating with your customers will make a difference. And finally, we're talking about gastronomy tourism and the impact on the territory and the communities, because we do believe it's one of the areas that has the hugest potential to integrate local communities, revitalize traditions and products, and give benefits to the communities. How do you see this happening, and how can we bring that value more to the local communities?
If I'm here today, in front of all of you, it's because our team, my brother and I, we created our dream. Our desire to always do our best has led the whole hospitality tourism sector to do better and better. It is a process of mutual contamination. It happens in the city and involved in whole region. Having 2 Michelin-starred in Senigallia, star restaurants in Senigallia, has created an across-the-board quality elevation and benefit all the sectors. It is a desire to always raise the bar in terms of food quality and hospitality that expands naturally. For this, it is very important to be supported by institutions through correct service and communication, sorry. I'm very nervous.
No problem. Katya's done an amazing job in English. So thank you so much, Katya. And thank you for leaving us with such an important note. At the end of the day, it's about keeping your essence as a restaurant, keeping your essence with your talented team who you have supported through COVID to be with you afterwards as well. And also that you are actually creating the destination, because as you said, for Senigallia to have 2 Michelin-starred restaurants makes the destination, and then the rest needs to be built alongside. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Katya. Big round of applause for Katya and for her inspiration. Thank you so much.
And thank you to UNWTO, and I feel honored to represent Italy today. If you come visit, if you are in Italy, come visit our restaurant and our dream.
We take notes. Visit Katya's restaurant. Thank you so much, Katya.
Thank you so much, Sandra and Katya. That was a very interesting conversation. And we would like to, Sandra, Katya, can I have?
Oh,
yes.
It's fine. Continue.
Oh, okay. じゃあ、行きますよ. All right. Now, we've given a clear insight of the challenge restaurants face every day and on the innovative solutions that can be adopted to become more inclusive and sustainable. And we're going to take a 20-minute break now, and we will dive deeper into the same topic after this short break. Please enjoy some coffee, and we're going to see you at noon sharp. And you're going to find your drinks, coffee, and other drinks, and of course, some local delicacies, sweets, tasty confectionaries selected carefully for you, available in the room next to this convention hall. And also, when you come back, I would like to remind you that you may not bring your coffee or other beverages inside the room except your water, which I'm sure you have your water bottle given at the reception desk. And so please fill it up and come back here at noon sharp. I'll see you later. Hi. Nice to see you.
movement defines us.
Standing still is not an option.
We must come together again under shared values.
With sustainability as a guiding principle.
We are the innovators, the game changers.
We are travelers. We celebrate diversity and champion solidarity.
Rowing back for people and planet.
Unlocking opportunities for millions.
And leaving nobody behind.
The world is waiting. We will restart tourism.
Dear distinguished guests and participants, we're going to start the session shortly. Please find your seat and wait for the session to begin. Thank you. 皆様、まもなく次のセッションが開始となります。ご着席の上、時間までしばらくお待ちくださいませ。 Welcome back, everybody. Did you enjoy your coffee break and some tasty sweets from the local region of Nara? And I see some people near the entrances, so please, I would like to request that you be seated back to your seats as we're going to continue the next session. And our next session will be is going to be focusing on women empowerment and on the promotion of young talent. And to moderate this session, I'm very pleased to invite back on the stage the General Manager of the Basque Culinary Center. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Jose Maria Aizega. Welcome back, sir.
Okay, good morning again. I'm going to introduce the participants in this, I think, very important and, I guess, relevant session. We are going to address important things and topics for gastronomy. And I'm going to name one by one the different participants of the session. First, Liz Ortiguera, please. She will bring you will see that we are going to have a very different experiences and visions in this session, and Liz will bring the vision of the travel world. She is CEO of the PATA, the Travel Association, so she will bring a very wide experience, so welcome. Second participant will be Jean-Philippe Sam, General Manager for Ducasse Paris, chef, instructor with a very wide experience in gastronomy, management, education. So welcome, Jean-Philippe. The third participant would be Lucia Freitas from Spain. She's a chef owner of a Michelin star restaurant at Tafona, with another restaurant also in Santiago de Compostela, Galicia, northwest Spain, and she works very much. You will listen to her with a very strong women-based strategy in all the things she does. So welcome, Lucia, bienvenida. The fourth participant would be Margarita Flores from the Philippines, UNWTO Ambassador for Sustainable Tourism, chef, entrepreneur, manager of a group of restaurants, and thank you so much for being here, Margarita. Thank you. The next one will be Iraku Ogura, founder of Fermentation Laboratory, working very much with rural communities and the promotion of fermentation culture. Thank you for being here, Iraku. Welcome. And finally, I would like to invite Natsuko Shoji, well-known chef, internationally renowned chef from Ete Restaurant, and also Asia's Best Female Chef 2022. So as you see, we have a very diverse experience in this session. I'm really excited to moderate and to let the conversation happen. I have some just introduction slides here. I would say first, it's an idea, no? The tourism, hospitality, and gastronomy it's a very relevant sector nowadays. I think after COVID also, with a strong recovery, gastronomy, as I mentioned in the opening ceremony, is driving so many decisions, not for private customers, but for hotels, for all the hospitality sector, bringing gastronomy many times in the center of the proposal, of the value proposal. So, and also it's a very important sector for employment, with a very important contribution in social and economic development. So we are talking about a very relevant sector. But also we have challenges. We have challenges, we have many opportunities, but also challenges. And in this session, we are going to talk about two important challenges in the sector, that is youth and women, and how we maintain this sector to be attractive to young talent, to be involved, to work in this sector, to have a professional development, to dream about being a professional in this sector, and also women, how we, of course, there are a lot of women workers, women staff in the sector, but how we have more women in top positions, being leaders, because, of course, we want to be a contemporary, a modern sector. We have to be gender balanced. Of course, it's a must. So this is something we are going to talk about. I'm going to raise these questions, and I put them in advance. I'm going to ask them what we have to maintain in this sector, what we have to change, and then what we have to change at different levels, at individual levels, also leaders, what they have to do to tackle these two challenges. Also in the company-based management, what things have to be changed, education institutions, what do we have to do, and also public policies, what we can ask to public administrations. So, because I think tourism, hospitality, and gastronomy are a force of transformation. So let's talk about that. So I will ask you, like a first warming up question, how, very broadly, how, from your perspective, how do you see nowadays our sector? What's your feeling?
I would say that my view across the region is cautious optimism. And I'm very fortunate to work in this role and see the best practices and the positive things that travel, tourism, hospitality, gastronomy can bring. And we definitely have a paradoxical industry where things can go wrong and things can go right. But I'm very hopeful that with the new focus of leadership, we can pivot things to the right practices.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I will ask you, Liz has done perfect to have this size of answers, please. So, Jean-Philippe.
Thank you very much. As Liz, I will be positive. Gastronomy, tourism, for sure we have challenges, but any industry has challenges today. And we need to find solutions to help the industry, restaurateur and hotel to find solutions. But remember, gastronomy and travel are the base of diplomatic way of life. And all the countries, as we see in France, everything happens around the table, but really everything. Peace, wedding, anniversary, sometimes sad thing, but everything happens around the table. So I think, especially in Japan, because I live in Japan, I will be very positive, even if we have challenges, as we discussed.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Lucía.
Bueno, yo soy optimista, pero soy crítica, ¿no? Considero que todos nosotros debemos cambiar la realidad
Well, on my side, What I want to say is that this sector, in relation to the youth, for gastronomy and tourism, young people must be motivated to continue to remain and work in this sector. We have this reality, we need to face this reality, and we need to change the way we work. We need to change our work style, and also sustainable restaurants are necessary. For instance, composting of food waste, sustainable life. While we continue to innovate, and we need to continue to develop new talents who will be kept and continue to work in this sector. We, of course, need to pay attention to our roots, where we are from, and at the same time, we would like to have people who are motivated and who are talented. We need such people, but on the other hand, we have experienced this pandemic. Because of this experience, our life, the foundation of our life now has to be changed and transformed. Hotel industry and tourism industry. Workers in those sectors, I believe, I hope that those people who are passionate about what they are doing will continue to work in this sector. But there has to be certain working conditions for them to continue to be passionate. And if you talk about young people, there are young women, and also there are entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs need to be both women and men, and women and men need to be given responsible positions.
A very positive thing to see what's happening in the industry. I think maybe the best proof would be Lucia, Natsuko, and myself, at least in the restaurant industry, that we now have a lot more female chefs and female business owners in the industry. So that's a wonderful thing to see. Maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago when I started, it was a totally male-driven industry. And today, not just inside the kitchens do we see a lot more females working in the kitchens. There's a lot of a recognition and awareness now that females have strengths in certain things and males have strengths in other parts. So I think that there's this unity in the kitchen now, and a real acknowledgement that both genders need to function together in unison, and that makes the industry so much more vibrant. And I think with what Lucia said also with sustainability, it's a global reality in the Philippines as well. This is so much a real priority for us to make the industry sustainable and to make sure that the communities that serve the industry are helped through livelihood and really through acknowledging that artisan producers and farmers are the main parts actually of what drives our industry. So we need to acknowledge them and work with them closely.
And you see the future of the sector from the Philippines, you see positive?
Definitely, yes.
Iraku, you have a different vision, because that's interesting, from fermentation, tradition, countryside, rural areas. How do you see the sector?
Actually, I opened my grocery shop in the emergency situation of new COVID-19. Actually, that was really, really difficult. In that period, there's nobody in the city in Tokyo, so it was like ghost town. So I was really waiting for some guests for a very long time in 2020 in the spring. After maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, the time has changed. So many guests have come to my shop because they wanted to get some nice seasonings. So maybe you know, in Tokyo there are so many restaurants. So the customers' motivation For example, in France or in Italy, go to restaurant is to have fun, to enjoy with a friend. But in Japan, the go to restaurant is another motivation, like the worker have no time, the worker have no, how can I say, passion to cook. But in the emergency situation of new COVID-19, the Japanese people had to make their cuisine by themselves. So their motivation has changed. So that was really nice challenge, I think. So everybody have to cook. Everybody have to, how can I say, make a delicious thing by themselves. So they had to get some information and knowledge about the food. That was, I think that is very good change, I think. So, but by the hand, in the restaurant business, now it's very difficult. So maybe less than 10% of restaurants in Tokyo had closed because of the new COVID-19. So we have to think about both sides. It means in the industry and in the house kitchen. So something is very good and something is very bad. Now, I think this is a reality in Japan.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Natsuko, as also you have done being an entrepreneur, no, a very challenging, no, development, and how you see nowadays and how you see the future of the sector, first in general, and then we will come with other questions.
So at first, thank you so much for having me here, and such an honor to be here. And sorry, I'm not good at speak English, but it's very important thing to share about my story in English. So I'm going to try speak about my stories. So when I was 24, I need to open my own shop, and I want to open my own restaurant, but I couldn't make a big amount of money. I couldn't make a loan. So because very young and also female. So and also I couldn't find the male staff, even female staff too. So I run my own business only by myself. So I asked my culinary high school where I graduated. I want to be a special teacher for the young student. So luckily, I got staff from this culinary high school. And now I'm sharing about my story to young generation and also young female. And it's very hard to find help someone for young female. But I want to make a new role model. So no need to make a very fancy restaurant. Just keep going and make a masterpiece. So my pastry is quite famous, but I make this very, very small shop and very, very small amount of money. So, but now in Japan, there is many gender gap, even wage gap also between male and female need to change from our generation too. So I want to share about this story, and I want to change this culinary world and this world too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience and your history, how you the challenges and the problems you found and how you solve it. I mean, it's really inspiring. Thank you so much. I will go to, let's talk about youth, about young talent, because it is impressive, when you analyze the world, we have the same problem all over the world. I mean, even the countries that have less unemployment or have more unemployment, restaurant sector, hospitality sector is having challenges to attract young talent to the sector. I mean, it's when you talk to anyone in any country, you listen similar stories. So let's talk a little bit about this. I mean, basically, first question, no? And we have some time. What do we need to change? That would be the question. We know what we have, what is positive, but let's think about a little bit about the challenge. Liz, what do you think we need to change?
Well, with respect to engaging the youth, you're correct. Globally, this is a phenomenon that now our recovery is constrained by attracting back talent into all industries within our sector. And our sector of travel includes so many industries, F&B, hospitality, aviation. So we touch so many, but we're now collectively having this staffing gap. And I think that for the youth, some might think that the youth are not as hardworking, not as focused, but actually they've had this values reset along with all of us going through the pandemic. And if you listen to the youth, what they want is mission, purpose, and then there are the basics around a good working environment. So what we need to do as an industry, whether it's dishwasher or it's farmer or it's a frontliner, it's a service staff, we need to bring the pride back into servicing. And I would say especially in Asia, this is one of the hallmarks of our culture. The warmth and the style of Asian hospitality servicing is so endemic and such a treasure. As much as the food, it's the service that goes along with it. That is such a treasure, and we need to reinstill the pride in that and the respect in the industry, and make a great, in addition to that, the basics like fair wages, making sure people are treated well at work. I think that we need to bring that honor back to these jobs.
When you say back, it's because it was before and we lost it?
I think particularly now, it can be challenging in travel and tourism because, there are more angry customers. And, the culture of, customer is king should not hold true if they're being abusive. If they're not treating your staff right, that can hurt your business in so many ways. And so I think we need to, it is a time where we need to bring that pride back to servicing. And yes, there's a view to automation, but, and that will come. It will make things more efficient, but today, I think there will still always be a value. I believe that good human servicing will just be valued more over time. How many of us make a telephone service call and you prefer to talk to a human versus all of us, right? And so your beautiful, cuisine, how many of you want a robot to serve you a Michelin star dish? You prefer a human, right? And so I think human servicing should be and will be valued more, but we need to make that happen.
Thank you. Thank you. And Philippe?
I think I will take another perspective. I will make a long story short. When I was 12 years old, I told to my parents I want to be a chef. And the first thing my parents, they said, go to see into the kitchen what happened. And I think our industry is very attractive, must be again attractive, but we should not lie also to the readers. We should not say, it's very easy. You can be a star chef, in 3 years you will be a star chef and everything. I mean, all the chefs here they work so hard to be chef. They are so proud to be chef. To be a producer, it's also a lot of work, but it's a lot of pride as well. So I think we should be honest with everyone to say, this is a wonderful job, but you need to work. And working in a hotel, I work in a hotel, I work in a restaurant, it's a lot of work, like any industry. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very important to, again, as Liz said, to be proud of our industry, to be proud of our job, and make it more modern in certain parts, definitely. I mean, 40 years ago, Instagram didn't exist. But we need to be honest also with everybody to say, if you want to be a chef, it's a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Lucía, ¿qué cambiamos?
Yo creo que hay una cosa que con los años se ha ido modificando, por suerte.
Well, as times go by and as I get older, things have changed. The chefs today may be different from what they were before. In the past, it was like a military. There were different grades and differences in statuses. So to bring young talent into this industry, we need to give them tools. We have to give them a space where they can demonstrate what they are capable of doing. And they must be able to feel that they are respected by superiors, mostly in front of their guests in the restaurant. And that kind of feeling is necessary. We are entrepreneurs. I think we also need to train our customers and guests. In the case of restaurants, working hours, there should be some improvement in that working conditions. With the pandemic, people's way of thinking, I think, has begun to change. We have become more considerate about our surroundings and people around us. What I thought during the pandemic is that I am not just a chef, I'm a mother with my family. And that's one thing I really have noticed once again during the pandemic. So both in and out of my work life, I need to be happy. So, in a restaurant, time schedule, I try to review our time schedule. Chef is not an easy job. But we can continue to make improvements in what we are doing. And young people need to be understood and feel that they are part of the team and they are contributing.
To listen to the 3 points of view here, because I feel that really with the young people who are working with us today, there is a tendency for their attention span to be short. But I think that the important thing, like as Philippe said, is that they have to realize that there's a lot of work involved. But I think what's important is not to just let them do the work and teach them the hows of what they have to do, but to explain the whys to them. Because in the end, you want them to learn about the entire scope of the business, not just that they're on the hotline or that they're here to make pastry, but that they are an integral part of the success of the whole business. And you also want to help them to become entrepreneurs after. They don't need to stay with you forever. You want to be part of their success as well. So I think integrating them in the decision making, making the work environment also more conducive for them to love what they do. And especially for the females, like Lucia was saying, we need to respect the fact that as females, we have roles to fulfill, that our families are just as important. Being mothers is also important. So if the management of a business can actually respect that, I think that things will change so much. And it's really just honoring our roles. You know, we women, sorry to the men, but we have, our threshold for pain is so much higher, right? Because we have children, we give birth, and you guys, the men don't experience that. But I think it's also acknowledging that when we women are in the business, because then it gives a more circumspect view, actually, to the way a business is run and to the success of the industry.
I was thinking that, listening what you have said and what Liz said, she said, a customer, we like very much more to talk in a service to the human than to a robot. And you were saying, yeah, but to the workers, we have to explain the whys. So we have treated like robots before.
Yeah, exactly.
No? So this human experience that we are valuing for the customer, we have to introduce in the management of the teams and of the people. No? It's interesting that sometimes we have looked so much front of the house and not so much back. No? And well, that's interesting. Iraku, how do you see you have also a very interesting experience in the young people, no? Some activities that are losing, how we engage young people to that?
I'm not chef, so my point of view is slightly different. So I'm focused on the gap between big city and the countryside. So that is also a big problem in Japan. So my territory is fermented food, fermentation. So the fermentation is a culture of countryside. And in countryside of Japan, the problem is population balance. So the young people, the population is decreasing like this, and older people is like this. So that is a huge gap. And the problem is who work in the countryside. And of course, in the brewery of Nihonshu, miso, shoyu. So that's a problem. They actually, in Japan, the fermentation culture, before the image was a little bit, for the older people. But I wanted to change because the fermentation is very cool. So it's very interesting, and of course, the brewer always profit the new technologies. So why I opened my grocery shop, because I want to make the fermentation culture like hip culture. So that is a kind of turnover of the culture. So I think my purpose is some part has success. So for example, with my activities or with my books, the young people now so many young people are interested with Japanese traditional fermentation culture, and also in the countryside, not so many, but some young talent is appearing for making the new type of, for example, sake. For example, new sake is, of course, the base is very traditional, but they added some spice, like adding the hops, like craft beer, and also they made a new miso, good with modern cuisine, like Italian or French. So that is a new generation. So I want to help always, I want to support them, the new generation, and new generation makes a new culture in the countryside. That is the future of Japan.
Really interesting. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so your vision about, well, you're being a young entrepreneur, as you have said. What do you think we have to change to attract young talent to our sector?
I think we also need to focus about their, especially our staff background. And my restaurant, I always talking about, asking about to staff about your background, and also especially for parents, because staff always work hard and also need to care, some staff need to care about their parents too. So we need to focus about staff's, our beloved staff's background too. And I also need to show about my small business role model. It's really easy to start, and easy to start, especially for young generation too. And I always try to collaborate it with another industry, especially like, so as he mentioned, we need to be cool, right? Like fashion and art, culture, it's very huge power they have. So we need to focus about a new approach, and also need to care about staff and staff background like family.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I was thinking on transition to talk about women, no? With the idea, but there is a question that it makes my work a little bit easier, because Luisa from Colombia, she has asked how we can avoid gender stereotypes in the sector to attract diverse young talent. Then we will go more in depth with women challenges, but let's answer, I mean, what kind of stereotypes we have to change, no, in our sector, because we know it exists. Yes. And so what do you think we have to change in that sense?
I would name two things. And I'll share that, you know, the biggest UN SDG corporate initiative, some of you may have not heard of, I didn't hear of it until recently, is no all-male panels. So imagine, and this happens all the time, but the important thing behind that is women need to see leaders that look like them. They need to be on stage. And so I applaud these ladies. It's important, even though it's difficult, it's important that they see you. They see you speak on stage, they see you in the media, they hear your voice. So for me, that's very important to avoid that gender stereotype. They need to see icons that look like them.
Actually, when I was invited, I was like, why I am in the panel of women and youth? Not women and not youth. And then I say, it's normal. I mean, it's, I think, as we all said before, it's a question of the management need to change. I mean, people, they are ready. People in the kitchen, they are ready. People in the shops, they are ready. And I think the management, that they don't need to think about, okay, we need to have this category, we need to have this category. It should be natural. And definitely it's something, you know, for me, I work for bosses, general manager. That a woman was never an issue. But that must come from the management. That must come from the chef. And to have no, I'm sorry, should not be a question. It must be a question because we need to change it, but it should be natural. So the management need to react. And it's often the question of the management, you know, or chef or owners, you know, they don't change. So I think it's, we must address not to the people because they are open to the change, they are open to this diversity, but the management need to change and to look at it. So it's really a mission we should be maybe at our level more pushy to the management to say, well, why not? I mean, what is the question? But may I stay? It's okay. And thank you very much.
Bueno, yo creo que evidentemente hay una brecha cuando hablamos de alta cocina con respecto al hombre y a la mujer. Creo que la mujer ha sido y sigue siendo la que ha sostenido.
Okay. There are different gastronomies in different countries. In the case of Spain, 228 have Michelin stars, and then the women are minorities in these restaurants. Women have a very basic roles to play, in my opinion. Make the change happen gradually, I mean. So rather than just waiting for the change to happen, we needed to make a change. So what we have to do is to create the environment where many more women become general managers and owners. And we need to pay more attention and we need to work harder for that. But one more important and clear thing is that in a team, when the head should also be women, I think. Women will give the guidance to the rest of the team. That is necessary. And what I'm trying to do intentionally is that as a part of gastronomy, we needed to increase the number of women, not just by arranging the shift or schedule. In the area related to gastronomy, producers and forestries and fishing industries, these are networks. So in each element of these networks, women have to help each other. Well, my work may be visible on the stage. For example, the restaurant, there are only 2 women with the Michelin stars in Spain. We are a minority, but we needed to help each other because we are such a minority. By having this relationship, well, for example, at the Basque Culinary Center, there are women students and they are changing. They are allowed to maybe to become successful in a spontaneous environment. In 10 years or 15 years, there will be a lot more women who prosper in this industry. So the female should be able to reach to the fullest of their potential without any limitation. There are many opportunities. For example, when opening a restaurant, it took 7 years for me, and then it took 24 years for her. Now, the safety and the certainty may be necessary for them to do. In opening a restaurant, it's almost like a journey going to the uncharted territory. That is itself very important. And then when important thing is that you can carry your name to open a restaurant.
In this, for example, this first year, in the bachelor degree, that are 4-year degrees, we have 50-50. I mean, female students, they are dreaming of being top professionals because they are studying a university degree. So something it's in their mind that even they see the male picture, they see themselves being top professionals in the future. No? So it is. It is in their mind. So now we have to. It is true that sometimes they get like the real image when they do externships, first year, second year, and they find even still that the sector has to evolve a little bit. But let's go, Margarita. The stereotypes you think we have to change.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that about the Basque Culinary Center, because in the Philippines, for hospitality schools and culinary schools, there are more women students than there are men. So, but the challenge is for them to finish and get hired and be given opportunities to succeed and to lead in the kitchen. So that we're working on in the Philippines. I'm proud to say that in my business, we're nearly 50-50 for men and women in front of house as well as in the back of house. So I guess it's really important for us as business leaders to to be conscious about making sure that the gender equality is like super present. And I want to thank UNWTO and 50 Best actually for giving us voices, the females. I mean, there's always this comment, why do you have to distinguish best female chef? Why not just best chef? But if it didn't start, we would not have a voice. So we have to start somewhere. And actually, this is Jean-Philippe's point of view, which we talked about yesterday. In the end, actually, a lot of the male chefs all learned from their moms and their grandmothers. They always say that they were inspired. We know they saw their mothers cook, etc. So in the end, actually, it's the woman that started the nurturing and the feeding. And it got lost along the way when all the male chefs became like the stars in the industry. But I think that's changing so much, acknowledging the fact that this whole role of the woman in the kitchen is now actually being celebrated. And as far as what Hirako was saying also about coolness of young people, just going to that point earlier, that there are female farmers now, female wine growers, and even in the industry of fermentation, it's not just old people, the young people are also interested, and the females. I know women who want to be butchers. They want to learn how to cut meat. And the world is changing so much that people are not so stuck in their genders anymore and are more adventurous about pursuing their passions, regardless.
Thank you.
Of course, in the fermentation culture, the stereotype exists, especially in sake making. Sake making is sometimes it's a little bit out of trend, you know. But the situation is changing. Now is the time to change. Maybe you can find so many chef brewer in the sake brewery and female chef brewer. Actually, the character is in general. Of course, it depends on the person, but the character is slightly different because the female brewer knows the cooking. So actually the sake, Nihonshu, sake is the liquor, the drinks for pairing with the food. But the old sake brewer, old male, for example, always they focused on the just the sake, not with food. So they always try to make the splendid sake without food. But the new female brewer try to make the good sake with food. That is a difference. So I think in origin, the Nihonshu sake, Japanese sake, is always it functions with the food. I think that is a very positive trend, I think. And also, as she said, in my shop, almost all staff are female. And of course, the chef is a female. So they are very proud to work in the territory of fermentation culture. That is also my pride. And of course, I have to think about the salary. So they are very young, but 10 years ago or 20 years ago, I have to guarantee the more salary for her. So that is my next challenge. I have to make some nice business model.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Natsuko, how do you see the stereotypes? Well, you have mentioned that in your own story, you have suffered the stereotype of a female chef hiring, no? But what kind of the stereotypes, apart, that's evident, has to change? How do you see this?
Especially in Japan, there are no good tradition. So like there is unsocial pressure for especially female. Mostly female should be housewives and make family and make kids. But that's also important, but no need to should be, I think. So at my restaurant, 100% staff female, and also they are very young, 20s. So and also female taste is every month change. Because when I was 20, I worked at a restaurant. I was a little bit sick because just sick, but you are pregnant, they said, because maybe your taste is no good during this week. I'm very shocked. So at the moment, need to change, need to remove this social pressure and this bad situation. And also at my restaurant, my work environment before very hard. I work early in the morning until midnight and need to check about the reservation after back home. No time to sleep and no day off. But now cannot push these things to young, especially young generation. We can do because we are owner and we are owner of a restaurant and a company, but cannot do same things to cannot push same things to young generation. So need to change. We have 2 days off per week for staffs, and I have some. Special holiday, especially Mother Day, Father Day, another staff's birthday also. Maybe that's very unique, but need to think about these things too.
Thank you so much for sharing. Well, yeah, as we are going to the end of this conversation, but I don't know if you agree, but we have talked a lot about change and transformation, and I'm confident that this transformation will happen because of 2 reasons. I don't know if you agree. All the things you have mentioned, many of them will happen because or there is a positive decision of the business owners to do this way because they think it's good, or it's a reaction because if they don't do that, they are not going to have the talent. They will, because we see that young people, male, female, if they don't feel well treated in a right environment with a right purpose, they will go away. So the business owners, well, they will lose resources, time, money. So that's no other chance that change. So how do you see it? Did you agree with that? There's a double motivation for change?
Yes, definitely. There's a double motivation. And I think what we're doing now is when we talk about farming, we talk about gastronomy, service, this is a kind of a celebrating the humanistic approach and treating them with proper training. So I think that all of this has become more critical now than ever.
Thank you. Thank you. A quick 5 minutes, a quick round.
2 things. As you mentioned, we do have our group school in France, in India, in Bangkok very soon. 40% of the students, they are women. if you compare with my time, it's a huge evolution. The other thing I want to conclude, it's everybody know Paul Bocuse, and who trained Paul Bocuse? La Mère Brasier, and she was a woman chef. And I think it's often we say, okay, chefs learn, from their mother, at home. But, I mean, in the beginning of the 20th century, La Mère Brasier and all these mothers in the kitchen, they were entrepreneurs, they were chefs. So I think it's very important just to remember that, because it's women have their place in the kitchen, in the world, in the industry, everywhere and at every level of the industry, to be manager, to be chef, to be sommelier, to be producer, as you said. And again, it's a lot of respect, for the team, for the staff, because it's starting from there. And I think it's the end of the period, where you have chef barking on everybody and on everyone. That is finished. But we need to have respect also because we learn something from our chef, and that is very, very important.
¿Eres positiva de que por una razón o por otra van a cambiar, o por razones positivas o por reacción?
Well, in my opinion, this field is already changing. This industry is changing. We work in a team. And the talents are now have to be attracted so that they will stay with us. We do research, we test taste, and we see all these efforts to make a restaurant a better place. And then some will become entrepreneurs. In that process, the existence of female matters a lot. In gastronomy, we are women, and then the gastronomy needs women. And then the female's basic roles are, like it or not, there are certain roles to be played by women, and without doubt, the future is a time of women.
One else that the industry has changed so much. I mean, I'm proud to be in this industry at this moment because the change happened within the last decade, I think, and there's just so much more promise that the role of the female in the industry will just become stronger. I think that the support that we should continue to give is to make it easier for them for women to survive and to enjoy the industry and to grow with it. At the same time, the consciousness also of the wage equality between male and female, it's still very prevalent, I think. Maybe in the Philippines, not as much, but in other countries, that women are still not at the same level. So I think that needs to be worked on. And I don't know, maybe one day governments will make laws to say that each business needs to hire 50% women and 50% men. I know it's a dream, but like you said, maybe the area of the public sector of government, how they can support any industry for that matter, to encourage gender equality. It's a shot in the dark, okay? But dreams are free, and we hope that maybe if we lobby with our lawmakers all over the world, that it could change. But I think that it's nice to look forward to something like that.
Thinking about the future of fermentation in Japan, maybe the COVID-19 is a very good chance to respect home kitchen, about home kitchen. So I think the origin of fermentation culture is always home kitchen. So I think every generation and every male have to work in the home kitchen. That is a key point of fermentation culture. So they consume a lot of miso and shoyu, and they drink sake in cooking. That is a very good situation for the fermentation culture, I think.
Thank you so much.
So I hope now, I think as Margarita mentioned, I thought when I got to Asia's Best Female Chef, why I mentioned Asia's Best Female Chef. So I think also we are same industry, but why separate this? I think we are doing effort like this moment, and I hope the future that no need to mention about female and young. Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you so much. Well, a big applause for them, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Aizaga, for your clear moderation, and thank you. And would like to take a photo of all of you in the center, and please come together, yes, and move forward a little bit. さあ、それではフォトセッションこちら。
Now this is a photo session at a great time.
Videographers to capture this memorable moment by Mr. Aizaga and our beautiful panel, Miss Ortiguera, Mr. Zam, Chef Freitas, Chef Forrest, and Mr. Ogura, and Chef Shoji. Thank you. Once again, please give them a big and warm round of applause. It's lovely to see all of you connected. And now it's time for our lunch. And you are going to enjoy our Japanese delicacies put into a bento box. And the lunch venue is located on the second floor of this main building, and it's going to be served in 3 separate rooms. And you can pick up the bento box in front of each room. And also coffee and other drinks are available in Hall C next to this convention hall. And you can take your simultaneous interpretation receiver with you, or leave it on your chair if you'd like. But please make sure to return it to our staff when you leave the building. And we have an hour, and we'll be back again here at 2:15 p.m. Japan time for our next session, and which will put a spotlight on sustainability. And for all media press, you're invited to join the official press conference that will start at 2 p.m. in the Miura room at JW Marriott Hotel. Okay, everyone? You know what to say when you eat in Japanese? We say itadakimasu. So I hope you're gonna learn this phrase and use it when you eat your lunch. Enjoy.